And we are live. Hello and welcome to Channel 2S. I'm your host, Second Soundwave, and welcome to the first official live stream of Channel 2S. I'm your host, Second Soundwave, and today we are going to be building as much of the GM Sniper 2 Master Grade as I can get done tonight. I'm probably going to only be building for about an hour and a half or so, but yeah, this is going to be pretty cool. So right now I'm going to just kind of hang out here for a little bit until you guys come here. Oh, hello, Brian M. So we got some people showing up already. That's pretty cool. I'm going to start building in just a minute, but first I'll maybe answer a few questions and stuff. I also have a second camera running, so well, this video quality, as you can see, if I move my hand, everything gets really blocky and pixelated, but I've got a second camera running that I'm going to record a kind of archived version of this, and that's going to be available on the site later on for people who want to be able to watch this build at a higher resolution. But if you want to watch the live version, here's the place to be. So we got Brian M's here. Matthew Mestra says hi. Hello. We got White Freak is second. Pixelman 619. Nice to see you, Bill. Nice to see you here for the live stream. Ryan Yip says hi. Dylan Francis Ugay says eggs. Jose Ricardo Martinez Fernandez says, when are you going to do a face reveal? Probably not anytime soon. Evade Diave says hi. Did I make a stand for the tablet, Pixelman? What I did is, I actually took, I'm going to move this for just a moment. I have some, like, lead weights that I'm using, and I just have one behind it and one in front of it, and I'm using them to kind of prop up the tablet, and it's working well enough. So it's all good. It's here. Hello. Pilot 115 is here. My voice is so satisfying. Thank you, Dylan. First time seeing you live stream. Hello. Hi, White Freak. Okay, so that's cool. We got some people here. Awesome. So, I guess I'm just going to start right here on the build. If you guys, of course, as usual, if you have any, well, I say as usual. I don't even know why I'm saying as usual for this. I've literally never done one of these before, unless you count that completely impromptu test live stream I just did, which went way better than I thought it would. But yeah, I'm just going to start building, and if you guys have any questions, you can feel free to ask them, and I'll hopefully be able to answer them. So I'm going to need the H runner for this first step. I'm going to be building the body right here. Last night I did actually skip ahead and go to the head, but the first step here in the manual is the body, so I'm going to be building the body right now. So I need the H runner and the F runner. F runner, F runner. Here's F, it's the big runner. So I'm going to take F21, that is the big flat piece. And I'm just going to cut this off of here. And then from H, I'm going to need a couple of 30s. So I guess these two pieces. It's really hard to line this up with the camera because I'm not used to recording with a device where the camera is on the corner instead of in the center of the device. So I keep wanting to do this because this is where the center of the tablet is. But this is actually the center of the camera for me, so I got to remember that. And I also got to check my second camera from time to time and make sure that everything I'm doing is in frame for that as well, because like I said earlier, I'm going to be recording a second version of this that I'm going to have uploaded to the channel after this for those of you guys who want to see this build at a little higher quality. So let's check the chat quick. So Barry Shaw is here. Hello. Taub's here. I got to say, man, you're really on the ball when it comes to news. I check your channel before going to Gundam Guy these days. Thank you. Actually, I've noticed, yeah, Gundam Guy has kind of gone downhill a little bit lately. Just a little bit. So, sanding tips. Well, Street Wax, you picked the wrong person to ask that question because I don't actually sand my parts. What I do to get rid of the nubs is I shave the nubs off with a hobby knife. So that's my sanding tip, is use a knife. So yeah, I'm going to, in fact, probably do that right now. So, I'm just going to shave here. Generally, you're best off if you do like little chunks at a time. I'm going a little faster with this. Also, I'm using a very dull knife. I should switch the blade out on this soon because this is a very dull hobby knife. But if you have a sharp one and you change the blade often, you shouldn't have too much trouble removing the nubs this way. You just kind of shave off the plastic just like that, and it leaves you with a pretty good finish. I know I do get people asking sometimes in the comments of my build logs, wow, how do you get such such clean looking builds without sanding anything? And that's why, is because I do all this stuff off screen usually, and then just show the builds in the actual videos. So that one went a little bit messy, but it doesn't look too bad. So I'm going to move on to the second part and quickly check the chat. So Gus Mendez wants to know what made me switch to Master Race Master Grades. Nothing did. I haven't switched. I just build both now. Let me bring the chat back up. Oh, Pixel Man uses diamond files. Okay, that's interesting. It's Your Gundam Man wants to know what my first Gundam was. My first Gundam was the high-grade 00 Riser condenser type. Yes, indeed. That was my first kit that I ever built. Saw it on Amazon. I thought, hey, you know what? That's a cool-looking robot. So I bought it, and I built it, and I was very satisfied with the end result because even today, the high-grade 00 Gundam is a pretty good mold. It's got a lot of articulation, and the color separation really isn't that bad for a kid of its age. So just shaving the nubs. So there's those parts, and these are just going to... So this piece is like this, and these pieces just kind of stick up and in. See how the focus is on this. I might try to see if I can bring one of my... Oh, that's better. That is so much better. Okay, there we go. So, switched around a light to the front. Okay, so, White Freak. I'm going to build my first Master Grade. Any tips? Honestly, they're not that much harder than a high grade. You're basically just doing more steps. So, apply all the knowledge you've learned from building high grades to your first Master Grade, and you should be perfectly fine. So, now I'm going to need some more parts from the H runner. So we need 29, 20... No, first I'm going to need 22 and 28. So, 22... And then 28 is this right here. And I'm going to need F9. You know what, why don't I cut off 25 and 29 right now as well, since I'm going to be using those in just a second. And I see there's quite a lot of stuff going on in the chat right now, so I'm going to just take a quick pause to answer some stuff. Talv, usually when I cut the nubs off, I just rub my fingernail over the area to feel its level, make the white stress marker from the cut go away. That does actually work. Like a lot of times, even if I'm shaving the parts off, you'll sometimes see me after I've shaved. I will kind of go over it with my thumbnail just a little bit, because that is actually surprisingly effective for moving nubs. And also one of the reasons that I don't trim my thumb and index fingernails as short as my other nails is because they're very useful multi-purpose tools that many people underrate. So, which kit MS do you hate the most? Believe it or not, it's not the Kimaris Vidar. There are actually a lot of kits I like less than the Kimaris Vidar. If we're talking just kits specifically, I'm really not a fan of the Master Grade Victory Gundam. That thing just pains me. But if we're talking visuals, one mobile suit that I've never been a big fan of, and like have just never seen the appeal of, other than maybe just the ironic, so ugly it's cute look, but I've always never been able to stand the Joagu visually. It's always looked pretty ugly to me. So Adrian Gonzalez says hello. If you had to choose between an MG or HG, what would you choose? Well, it's your Gundam Man. I would probably choose high grade simply because there's so gosh darn many of them that I would never run out of kits to build. Well, with the Master Grades, they've only done a couple hundred of them, and they only do like 10 or so a year at most. So I'd end up drying up the pool of kits pretty darn quick. Is it bad to twist big nubs, to loosen them, to cut them with a knife? Kind of, yeah. You'd really just want to rely on the blade of the knife as much as you can. If you're twisting, you can actually, instead of just twisting the side, that can also pull plastic up and out of the part, and it'll leave a little dent there. So whenever possible, you want to just cut as cleanly as you can, because twisting and pulling is a very good way to mess up the parts. So Shut Up Ainsley says he's planning to buy a PG GPO-1. Well, good for you. That is a very, very ambitious build. I can't wait to try the shaving method. Sounds like it might save some dollars on a new set of nippers. Yes, it does. Like, these things that I'm using, these are not God hands. These are nothing close to that. These are a pair of wire cutters I found for like $3 in a like electronic surplus catalog. These are garbage. But they don't have to be good because I just cut a little ways off from the part and then take a knife, which is also pretty cheap, and just shave the parts off, and it looks just as good as if I had a nice shiny hobby nippers. The only thing is I just have to put a little more time into making them look good, but you know, I got plenty of time. I'm a model builder. Brandon Long asked, how do I acquire by Gunpla? I get my kits from a variety of places. This one and most of the ones I've gotten over the last couple months have come from Hobby Wave, who I liked for a while just because they have pretty good prices, and they also have flat rate shipping here in America, so you can get like a pretty big order shipped for like $12, which is not really that bad. The only thing I really don't like about them is that they don't pack the kit super well, like they kind of just throw everything in a box with no packing material, and they also take a really long time to ship stuff. Like, I actually ordered a new order from them on, man, I think it was like Monday, and it just now left the warehouse like yesterday. So it takes them a long time to get stuff, but they are pretty economical as far as pricing goes. What is the amount of time it takes to build a master grade? Well, Streetwax TV, I've already built this guy's head, which took maybe half an hour. I'm going to be building this guy's torso and as much as I can get done tonight, so if you keep up with this stream and any future streams I do of this guy's build, you're going to find that out. But generally, I've found it takes probably maybe around 5 hours, I think. I don't know. I work kind of slowly since I go through and I clean everything up and do all that stuff, and I put it together, and like right here you can see I'm kind of talking with you guys as well, so that's obviously going to increase the build time a little bit, but I generally find it's around 4 or 5 hours. Bad Batch TGD, you're actually not that late. I only just started around 10 minutes ago. Shader13 says, I like MG generally for more articulation, more details, and some of the inner frame for some kit bashes look awesome. Yes, I have to say, if you're a customizer, Master Grade is like the best thing ever because it has all the details. Everything's already sorted out by color since it's got that great color separation. They make for really good kit bashes, and they're just generally some pretty awesome looking kits. But when it comes to like just the variety, I find there isn't really anything that'll ever beat the high grades. But yeah, the Master Grades are still pretty awesome with all that detail. Who would win in a Gundam fight? Gundam Wing versus Gundam Age? I'm not sure to answer that question. If you're talking about the Gundams themselves, I'm going to assume that you're talking about the Wing Gundam and the Age 1 normal. In which case, I'm going to say probably the Age 1, since it's a highly versatile mobile suit and has a bunch of different weapons and option parts that it can equip or de-equip. But if we're talking the shows, I'd say probably I found Wing to be more entertaining. Does anybody know a model that you can have the most fun playing with, or one that is very sturdy and articulate? That would be the high-grade Universal Century Gundam RX-78-2 Revive version. That kit is built like a tank. I have one, the way I used to have it displayed, it was actually on kind of a corner shelf next to my doorway, and that thing got brushed off that shelf 4 or 5 times, never got a scratch on it. That thing is ridiculously solid. It's got tons of posability, and it's a really fun kit to mess around with. Okay, so Eric's Carrito says, yo. Bad Batch says, hey, can I ask? I heard kits from before 2010 are bad. Is that true? I wouldn't say they're bad. They just aren't as consistently good as the later ones. Like, if you get a kit from, like, 2008, like, the High New Gundam was 2008, 2009. I love that kit. I still recommend that kit. It's a really good kit, but not every kit from that era was the High New Gundam. Some of them, like the Camphor, were okay, but not super great. You kind of have to do a little more research with those older kits. Some of them are hits, some of them are misses, but generally they're not that bad until you get to like pre-2005. Then you're going to see some kind of weird, rickety kits with some odd engineering choices and really bad color separation. But like pre-2010, I mean, if it's like late 2000s, it should probably be pretty okay with a few exceptions. Eric's Carrito, he says he's very late. Well, this is all I have done so far, so you're actually not that late. So Pixelman says, build strike or build burning? I'd say build strike. Not build strike. I just messed it up. I had two options and I chose the wrong one. But yeah, build burning Gundam because crazy articulation, effect parts, hands, and it's just plain awesome. Okay, so Rone Harushin says hi. I just have Eric's Carrito says I just have jewelry pliers from Michaels. Assuming they have like a cutting edge of, I'm not familiar with jewelry pliers, but I'm assuming they have some sort of cutting edge on them. If they have, as long as they just have, as long as whatever you're using to cut your parts off has like a sharp edge like this that meets flush instead of being like kind of overlapped like a pair of scissors, it's fine. Like, it doesn't take a lot to cut the parts off the runners as long as you're careful, and then you just finish them up with this. So jewelry pliers, not super familiar with those, but if they're like this, they should probably work. Which Gundam era and technology do I prefer? Favorite era? I have to say, as much as I dislike Seed as a series, the Cosmic Era is probably the best thought out of any of the alternate timelines to come out of Gundam. And Astray really showed that, where they kind of showed some of the kind of background of the universe, some of the lore and the tech, and there's really a lot of cool stuff going on in the Cosmic Era. So I'm going to have to say probably the Cosmic Era. Main problem I've been having with my Master Grade Dream Sniper 2 is that when you have the shield connected to the left arm is really loose. Okay, well, I'll just see how that holds up when I get that together. Last cue from It's Your Gundam Man is, what is your all-time favorite Gundam of all time? Think about this one. That is actually a, that is one of the hardest questions you could ask. I have four Gundams in my head that I'm thinking of right now. I'm going to choose one. The one Gundam that I like more than any other Gundam ever, I'm going to say it's the Gold Frame Astray Matsumina Custom, because it's the Astray, which is like my favorite Gundam body mold ever, and it's black and gold. It's got the big wings, it's got the claws, it's got the spikes. It's just such a big, aggressive, nasty machine that I can't help but love it. Am I going to build the Providence Gundam? Right now that answer is no. However, once reviews of this, that was also my answer for whether or not I was going to build a Master Grade Gym Sniper 2, and here we are today. So if I see some pretty cool builds of the Master Grade Providence, and I decide, wow, that actually looks pretty cool, maybe I'll build one, but for now I'm not planning on it. The 00 kits are amazing. Yes, they are. Is it weird that you like all 00 kits but hate Exia? Not necessarily. I used to not be a big fan of lead Gundams myself just because of how kind of uninteresting they look compared to the side suits, so I don't think that's super weird. Gus Mendez says it might take me about 12 to 20 hours to do a Master Grade if I sand every little thing down. Okay, that sounds about right. Should I buy the GPO-2A Master Grade, though? Genjutsu, I would strongly recommend that you do not. That kit not only can't hold its shield, that kit is just really not a good kit. The color separation's terrible, the articulation's terrible. Like you mentioned, he can't really even hold his shield that much. It's just not a good kit. Unfortunately, we really need some kind of new kit of the GPO2, and unfortunately the Master Grade doesn't fill that space. Favorite MG of all time, that would be the Master Grade Build Strike. What kind of nippers do I use? I just answered this a few minutes ago, but if you weren't here for that, these aren't even real nippers. These are just wire cutters that I found for a few bucks. So, yeah, I don't actually use nippers. Master Raid Zaku 2 is built like a tank and also has a ton of detail and posability. Yes, it is. That is actually a really cool kit. Yeah, I graded a lot more variety and also a lot more MGs that was released. Same for MG Chesta. Kits from before 2000 are trash. Yeah, they kind of are. Like, there's a... Actually, no. I can't think of a single Master Grade released before 2001 that I would consider to be, like, at least okay. Like, there's some less terrible ones and more terrible ones, but yeah, generally I'd say around 2000 is where the cutoff point is from complete garbage to actually kind of okay. What Gundam do I want to see as a real grade? I think generally it would be cool to see the EW versions of the Wing Gundams as real grades, but if we're talking one specific Gundam, I'd say probably the Ground Gundam, just because I think that would be really cool to see such a realistic, detailed mobile suit at a grade that's all about detail and realism. There are hidden gems with HUCs before 2008, high-grade Bawu and the Hyzak. Okay, so Taub 001. I am aware that the high-grade Bawu is a thing, and I was not particularly impressed with that kit. I didn't build the actual Bawu itself. I did build the Rebawu, but you can go back and sometime maybe watch my review of the high-grade Rebawu and see my thoughts on that mold, because I wasn't that impressed with it. HUC Double Zeta is one of the best. I've heard some good things about that kit. I just can't get over the fact that it parts forms so hard. Luke loves the Astray? Well, so do I. Ron Hirushin says, I want to get a GM Sniper 2, so loving the look of it, and I want to use some leftover decals for my Master Grade Full Armor Thunderbolt Gundam. Yeah, those could definitely make it look pretty cool. Oh, okay, looks like It's Your Gundam Man has one more question to ask, and let me just quickly roll ahead and see. Holy crap, I'm going to need to rapid fire through a bunch of these. So, what is Gundam to me? Gundam to me is a pretty freaking awesome hobby. I have seen the video that Ed did about that, so I get where you're coming from with that. I don't have some deep emotional symbolic connection to Gundam in any way. It's just a fun hobby I like to do. I like building models. I've always loved giant robots, and it's just a really cool thing to me. What's the red thing behind the Astray? That is the Dark Matter booster, which was the build custom set that included basically just the backpack from Dark Matter Exia. I've built a Wing Gundam and the waist piece broke. Is this normal? Which version of the Wing Gundam? Master Grade or High Grade? We need a real grade RGM-79 GM. I mean, that would be pretty cool, but the real grade RX-78 mold that they would almost certainly use for it does have some problems since it was the inaugural mold in the line, so of course there were some definite issues with that. But yeah, it would be nice to see a GM if they could maybe find a way to use as little of the RX-78 as possible. I remember on the Gundam GM 3.0, they teased a GM on the Gundam 3.0, they teased a GM 3.0. I kind of remember that too. I have a strong suspicion that the Gundam 3.0 is probably going to have nothing else added to it or expanded from it, just because it seems like that was kind of a one-off thing for the Gundam statue. We need real grade XS Gundam? No. We need real grade XS... No. We need XS Gundam Master Grade Ver-Ka. That I would love. That would just make my year. Best beginner Master Grade? I'm going to say probably the real grade builds... I just said real grade again. What's wrong with me tonight? I am just out of it. Probably the Master Grade Build Strike. Again, I'm using that answer a lot because I really like that kit. It's pretty cheap, it's really cool, it's really solid, and just an all-around pretty great-looking Gundam. Would I kill you, Steffi, for an XS Ver-Ka? Okay, now, Steffi, I know this is a hard question to answer, but this is for the benefit of the entire Gunpla community, so I'm just going to need you to hold still for just a moment, okay? Is there anything similar that looks like the Jesta? Well, the only mobile suit I could think of that looks really similar to the Jesta would be the GM Quell. It's not quite as detailed as the Jesta, but it does have a very similar head shape, and it's got a similar kind of SWAT team slash Navy SEAL Gundam look to it. So let's see. Head of one of my kits. The head of one of my kits is really loose, and how do I fix that? Well, Bad Batch TGD. What a lot of people will use is either nail polish or floor polish or a clear coat or basically any kind of material that you can spray onto the joint that will like dry and harden onto a layer. You can just take the kind of joint apart and take the ball joint part and just spray it with a thin coat of whatever you're using. Let it dry. Make sure it's all cured completely. And what that'll do is it'll put a little microscopic layer of material on the ball so that when you clip the rest of the joint back together, it'll be nice and tight. With all the hype for the 1/1 scale unicorn, do you think they'll make an RG unicorn? They might try it, but I really hope they won't because I cannot see that going well. What are my opinions on the Flag series? I guess they're okay. I've never been really big on them. They've always looked kind of flimsy to me, but I've heard the 1/100 overflag's pretty good, so I might grab one of those at some day. So Luke said that the Wing Gundam he had was the HGAC version. No, it's not normal for that to break in half at the waist, but I guess you could maybe cement the joint back together, or possibly... No, I mean, I guess you just could cement it back together and be careful with the waist, basically. And you need coffee? Oh god, I don't even want to think about what I would be like if I had coffee. Best HG I've ever built? Probably the Ground GM. That thing was freaking amazing. Your sound is really low for me. My sound is really low for everyone because the mic on my Nexus is absolute garbage, so it sounds like I'm underwater. The Jigen is similar to the Jesta? Yeah, it is. It's pretty close. So, yeah. Looks like am I caught up? Yes, I am finally pretty much caught up in the chat, so I'm just going to quickly trim off some nubs here. And, here we go. This is the first time I've ever tried to do a build while actually doing something else. And I'm quickly discovering that my multitasking skills are, they sure are something. Next time I do one of these, I'm going to have to find a different way to set the tablet up, because having to reach around this while also not knocking it onto the floor is very challenging. So I'm just going to quickly knock out a few of these. I'm also going to see if I can get some of this together, and then I'm going to... No, Gus, don't give them ideas. Thought the Origin Bugu was the best I built? So did I, and then I built the GM ground type. Oh hey, Shoki's here. Hello, Shoki. What was my first build? I actually answered this a little while ago, but it was the high-grade double riser condenser type. Loved it then, and I actually still love it today, because it's a pretty awesome mold that's held up to time very well. So, finally, after 30 minutes, I'm going to go into the second step of building the body. So I'm going to grab, it looks like this piece. No, it is... Oh, it's the one piece I didn't have cut out. That always happens. I'm going to put together the parts, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have that piece. I need that piece. So this is F9. So as I'm cutting this out, I'm going to quickly run through here. Okay, we got some new people here as well. We got Koi Fam. What is... Genjutsu asks what life is. Life is the state of not being dead. That is the best answer I can give right now. Why did you buy the high-grade red frame if you already had the real-grade red frame? There's actually a very simple answer to that. I didn't already have the real-grade red frame. I bought this about 2 years before the real-grade red frame came out. And yes, Shoki, I'm very glad you're not dead. Okay. It's Your Gundam Man said, Ground Gundam RG is coming. I know where you got that from. Yes, they had that big now planning banner in the background when they announced, oh, I don't even remember what real grade it was, but it was a long time ago. They showed a bunch of real grades, a GM, a Ground Gundam, a Goof, and they were like, hey, we might make these, and they never actually ended up making most of them. I don't think we're probably going to get any of those. If we do get them, it certainly won't have anything to do with them being on that banner, because if you remember that one they had for the Reborn 100 line, one of the machines that they had listed on it was this guy, and as you can see, they decided to make him as a master grade instead. So Bandai's plans always change, and what they say they might announce one year might be released in a completely different way another. Have you built any of the old wing kits from 1998? Yes, I have. I've built the old Tallgeese 3. I painted it horribly with Gundam markers, and it was a hilarious disaster. We're going to be here all night before the torso is done? Yeah, probably. Are the 90s kits really that bad? The 1/144 scale ones are. I haven't tried building any of the 1/100s, but I've heard they're slightly better. This a cool build thingy? Yes, it is, Crow Dash. Thank you. When did the stream start? Galaxy Cat, it started about half an hour ago, just a little before 6. No, I'm sorry, just a little before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, Pilot 115 wants to know, in Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, they took a land-based MS, Landman Rhodey, into space without any issue due to the top-quality parts used. Would this work with other series in MS? That's actually a good question, because they did take the Landman Rhodey's back into space without reconverting them into Man Rhodey's. That was definitely a something that I was not expecting to see them do. That did kind of surprise me. And while I'm thinking about this and answering that question, I'm going to put some pieces of plastic together just so we get something done during this build. But yeah, that's a really good question. I never really thought about that, but they did definitely take the Landman Rhodey's back up into space, which was a little weird. Would that work with other MS? I mean, they kind of did it with the Dom in 0079, where they made the Rick Dom that was very, very similar, but just in space. I'd say it basically comes down to basically whatever the writers want it to be. And I know that's a really cheap answer to give, but if the writers are like, we need a new spacesuit, and they can just make up whatever excuse they want for the ground suits to suddenly be used in space. So that is my terrible roundabout answer that I'm giving. So how is this going to work? I should check to make sure. Yep, okay, my side camera is still recording, good. Although all you can see on the side camera is just like a pair of hands, because it's shooting in from this side, but hopefully I'll be able to get something out of that, and yeah. Although I haven't been getting a lot of the build done, so maybe just from time to time I'll show the nice camera what I've got going on here, so I have a better record of my progress with this build. And this is a really funky little assembly we have here. Like, look at that. There's a ball joint, there's a swivel, there's a couple double swivel things here. This is a very interesting thing, and oh great, now I have to build another one of these. So I think we're going to be very lucky if I get the torso frame done tonight. But yeah, this is going to... This looks like it slides in here. And then... Is it like this? I think it's like... Oh, it's probably like this. Wait, let me see. I'm sure there's probably people screaming at me in the chat right now that I'm doing it wrong. Come on. There we go. Ooh. Check that out. He's got like a moving piston inside his shoulder mechanism. That is super cool. Okay, that's worth spending half an hour building. So now that I've put together 3 parts, I'm going to catch up on the chat again. So let's see. Any good master grades on the way? I mean, there's the Justice Gundam. That's pretty awesome. Overlord H617. Do you think they'll ever release the TV version of the Death Scythe Hell? They probably won't. They probably won't. Okay, hello, H4D1. Dylan Francis Ugay says he is on the other side of the world. I'm aware of that, yes. I know a lot of you guys, actually about half my audience is on the other side of the world, and it makes lining these kind of things up a little bit tricky. Maybe next time I do it, I'm going to try to see if I can find a time that's a little less late at night for you guys, but right now I'm doing it here at this time. How far along is the build? Well, Crow Dash, this far. This is going to be a torso eventually. Eventually. What part of the world do you live in? I live in the northeastern United States. I've been watching your video since the beginner Gundam video. Well, that's pretty darn cool. I'm just catching up in the chat right here. Will I buy a high-grade 100 Barbatos Lupus Rex? Probably not. I'm not really a fan of that kit. I don't think it really changes that much from the Lupus, although I do like the Lupus. Hi from Dubai. Oh, cool. Okay, so Gunther Warhite. Hello. Hi from Michigan. Hello, Pixelman in Michigan. It's 5 a.m. where White Freak is. So Gus says that he's a feeling they might release newer versions of the Master Grade GM types. I think that's pretty likely. I think we will be seeing some more Master Grade GMs, because I pointed this out in the unboxing. I'm going to point it out again here. There are a lot of these little injection gates all over all the runners on the GM Sniper 2. This kit is built to be a basic body for future GMs. I know they're going to do some more stuff with this. Hi from Malaysia. Hello. That's a pretty cool place to be. Hi from Germany. From Houston, Toronto. Hi from the part of New York most people forget about, Long Island. Yeah, I guess that's part of New York, isn't it? If Gunpla Battle was real, what Gunpla would I use? I'm going to go with the really cheap answer and say turn A because it destroys everything else. Hi from France. Cool. Okay, K-Pax is in France. Why do you think Bandai doesn't make different colored action-based ones? They do make different colored action-based ones. They have them in red. Wait, no, I guess, yeah, they do have it in red. They made red and white ones for the Sinanju and Unicorn that I think have come with markings for the specific suits, but you don't have to put those on. And then they have the black, white, and gray. And I think they have clear as well, so they actually have a decent selection of colors. Hi from Australia. Okay, we got someone from Arizona. Okay, so I'm going to quickly see if I can rapid fire out the other side's pistons so we can get somewhere with this build. Now I know why most live streams have a two-man team of one person kind of reading off the chat and the other person building, because this is a bit overwhelming, but I'm going to roll with it for tonight. I'm going to do this. I said I'd do it, I'm going to get it done. So here's those pieces, and I'm going to need some little bits from F. Here we go. probably just as well that I'm doing this off screen because as soon as I move anything on this camera, everything goes super pixely. That was close. Hi from Phoenix. No, I mean Phoenix is kind of exciting. You have heat. So H4D1 says Malaysia sucks because the price of Gunpla here costs 6% more. Well, here in America it costs a lot more than 6% more. They have more variety for action-based 2s. Why no love for the smaller? Why no love for the action-based 1? That is because the translucent red, blue, and green versions of the action-based 2 were released as kind of a cross-marketing thing for Gundam 00. And since Gundam 00 didn't have a lot of master grades, they didn't make master grade sized versions of those stands. Those stands were kind of just made for the 00 kits. So Crodash wants to know if getting the master grade red frame Astray is worth it. Well, I'm going to say this right now. If you want it, I built this kit. If you're planning on displaying him with the tactical arms being held in his hands in any way, you're going to have a pretty rough time. He can hold it with the help of that action base he comes with, but it is quite a challenge. But for the most part, it's actually a pretty cool kit. It does have a bunch of detail on it for starters, so it looks great. It's really fun to detail up because there's a lot of detail on the frames, a lot of stuff you can paint in, a lot of little moving parts. I actually do recommend it, especially if you've already got a couple master grades under your belt, because it's almost, I don't want to say it's Verka level, just because I haven't built any Verkas to compare it to, but it's definitely up there. Let me just catch up to the chat quick. RX-78 or Lightning Zeta? Oh, Lightning Zeta all the way. I love that design. What do I think of the Gundam video games? I cannot say much on them since I haven't actually played any of them, but when I look at those redrawn cutscenes in games like Journey to Jaburo, it makes me yearn for a remastered version of 0079, which actually ties in well to your second question. So yes, I would love to see a reanimated version of 0079 with like some Journey to Jaburo level animation where it doesn't have to be like Origin level, it just has to be not terrible, and I would be totally okay with that. But yeah, that would be so cool. Maybe if they could do something with the audio too, since the audio track for 0079 was a little off sounding. How's the Master Grade Blitz? It is pretty cool, actually. It's a pretty small Master Grade, but it's a fun build, and it's got a really good base frame. Will I build a Zagok? Well, actually, there was a time where I probably would have, because once, a couple years ago, I made an order from Hobby Link Japan, and it wasn't my first order from them. I'd used them a few times before. So I know they're normally pretty good, but that one time when I ordered the real grade Zagok and the high grade Lightning Gundam with the Mark II backpack, that was the first and only package I have ever gotten lost in the mail. And because it was SAL unregistered, I was pretty much screwed. So yeah, I have yet to get around to replacing that Zagok, but maybe I will someday. So, would I make another channel of gaming? I'm not that much of a gamer. I game sometimes. I've considered doing a little bit of gaming stuff on Second Soundwave, which is my second channel that you can find down in the description below. It's where it's like, right now it's only got one video on it, but it's kind of like an experimental platform for me to just release kind of whatever stuff. So I might try a little gaming on there at some point. I need to get Gundam Breaker 3. Yes, I do. That game looks awesome. Although it's hard to justify paying $80 for what's basically a Gunpla themed dress up game with a little bit of combat. Why is Gunpla so expensive internationally? Well, Dylan, because importing. Because they gotta pay someone to put those kits on a boat or on a plane and take them across the ocean to all the other countries. Do they have Gundam PC games? Yes, they do. In fact, there's actually one that I'm thinking of right now. I think this was a PC game. I'm pretty sure it was PC. I could be wrong. I don't remember the name of this. Some of you guys that have been in the Gundam fandom for a while might know this one. But there is a 0079 game with some of the most legendarily bad live-action cutscenes that you will ever see. And somebody here hopefully knows what I'm talking about. I don't remember the name of it, but if you like look up like Gundam live action or something, it'll probably come up in there somewhere, because that game is legendary for how terrible the cutscenes were. Have I ever gone to Gundam Builders World Cup? No, I have not, because my customizing skills are absolutely horrible, because I have actually done almost no customizing at all, although I will be changing that later this year. I really want to get into some more painting and stuff later this year, because I think that would be a cool way to kind of step up my game. Is the torso frame similar to the RX-78 2.0? Well, Shoki, I am going to say probably, considering that the H-runner on this kit is from the RX-78 2.0, and that's where most of the parts on this build came from. So I'm going to say, yeah, it probably is. Can I suggest any high grade to do? I would recommend anything Origin. Literally anything Origin. Just pick one and build it. They're all awesome. It's an yes, Siegjean. Okay. Gundoggy knows what I'm talking about. He gets it. Will I build an old kit like the Masteroid Zaku 1 or Masteroid Goof? I wouldn't necessarily put those, unless you're talking about the Goof 1.0, I wouldn't necessarily put those two kits on the same level, as the Goof 2.0 is actually a pretty nice kit. But I don't have a lot of interest in building older Master Grades, especially stuff like the Zaku 1. Master Grade Zaku 1 Sniper? Yes, that would be awesome to see, but right now I'm actually reasonably satisfied with the high grade. I mean, it's a pretty cool kit from what I've seen. It's one of those kits that I've always been like, hey, you know, I've got a few extra dollars, I've got, you know, some extra space in this order, I should throw in something else to make the shipping a little more economical, I guess, a little more justifiable, and then I end up choosing something else over it. So, at some point I'm just going to grab a bunch of those kits that I've always kind of glossed over, and do kind of maybe a month of, like, catch-up building or something. Or maybe not even that much, but just do something with them. But for now, I don't even know where I'm going with that anymore. I'm just going to take this piece off the runner, and I'm probably going to catch up on the chat again, because it's funny, because last night, or was it last night? Whenever I did the last live stream, when I was doing it, I was like, oh, okay, I can keep up with the chat. This isn't going very fast at all. And as soon as I start building, oh, that changes everything. I've recently heard that the Zaku Origin is a small Gundam. No, it is not. It is actually just the same size as any other 18-meter mobile suit would be at that scale. The Unicorn episode with all the Xenon remnant troops fighting against different GMs, or aka episode 4, was basically mecha porn. Yes, it was, and I loved it, and I've watched that episode more than any other episode of Gundam Unicorn, because that was some quality Gundam right there. That was the peak of everything, and I'm still mad that Bandai has yet to make a Aqua GM. Because, come on, Bandai, just do it. Do it, please. And don't you dare make it Premium Bandai. I would legit rage if they announced a premium Bondi Aqua GM. I was already mad enough when they made the waterproof Gundam P Bondi, because that thing's like 80% new material. I mean, come on. Well, okay, maybe not 80%, but there's a lot of new tooling on that. It's basically just as original as anything you'd see at retail, and it was a really, I think it was a really dumb choice on their side to make something like that a premium kit, because, you know, I mean, I think they could have gotten a reasonable number of people to buy that kit. So how do I do this? Did I do this? I did this. Is this backwards? Nope, just this piece. Okay. Okay. So we are making blistering progress on the Master Grade GM Sniper 2, which is what I am building, for those of you who just tuned in and didn't read the title. In hindsight, I really didn't need to say any of that. Smaller, Charizaki 2 smaller than the GM Sniper K9. I mean, kind of. Just because of the general difference in height between suits, but it's not that much smaller. They're both pretty much around the average. Is the Origin Charizaki 2 a good starter kit? It's a good anything kit. It's just a good kit, period. Yes, I recommend starting with that. How were the nubs on it? Absolutely excellent. There were I think there were maybe a couple points where the nubs weren't super great, but for the most part, nub mark and seam line concealment on that kit were really good. Have I played Gundam Battle Operation? No, I have not. GM Thunderbolt for that would be cool, actually, yeah. Wingham G, that won't be... Oh, yes, that thing, Pixelman. I know what you're talking about. I'm still mad over that, although I've decided, you know what? Screw them. I'm not getting it. I'm just going to get a normal heavy arms and just enjoy the orange. Because I'm not picking up that thing. I am that mad that they made that P Bondi. And yes, Shoki, we're talking about the heavy arms. Master Grade Zaku 2 worth the build for a beginner? Yes, it is, actually. From what I've seen, it's a pretty cool Master Grade. It's a pretty small, cheap, simple kit. Yes, Shoki, I know you have the heavy arms. You don't need to rub it in. Where's B? Oh, here's B. Okay. Finally, an hour into this stream, we're actually putting some armor on this frame. So, this is piece... I don't even see a number... Oh, 7. Okay, so it's number 7. Right? Yeah, 7. Okay. I mean, it's the only piece like it on the runner, so I'm assuming this is probably that piece anyways. I mean, it's like a collar armor piece. It's hard to miss. And I'll need a little polycap as well. And there we go, humming old Transformers themes from my childhood. I think that particular one might have been the Energon theme, although I cannot remember since it's been a very long time since I have seen that. And I'm rambling again. So, polycap. I need a polycap for this, and it is these little square polycaps, so I'm guessing that's 3, since that's the only one that's shaped like a little square. So I guess this goes, yep, this goes here. And this, let me see if I can do this in a way so that the secondary camera can see it. What? Oh, duh. There we go. That makes more sense. I had it on backwards. Watch me take 10 minutes to clip 2 pieces together. Okay, so 1 hour in to the build, we have made massive progress. So I'm just going to push on ahead. And finally, we're going to be actually, in this step, it looks like we're going to be putting together, or at least inserting, the pilot. So what runner is he on? He is on C. Let's see which runner C is. Is it this one? No, that's D, that's B, that's G, that's A. So it must be one of the frame runners. Okay, that's not something I would have expected. Runner C, right? I think I said runner C. Is there even a... Wait, was it C? It was C. Is there a runner C on this kit? I don't even know. It is H, W, B, E, F. Oh, there we go. There we go. It was just buried. Found it. Found it. Found it. Resonance Gundam, you have missed the building of an extremely complicated section of maybe 10 whole pieces. Yeah, I've been here for an hour and I've done next to nothing. That's the short version. Thoughts on the P Bondi Floros? I think it's entirely okay. I'm really not bothered that's P Bondi, and I think it's a nice little kit. Interested in the third-party wound wart? No, I'm not really a particularly big fan of that design. You guys know any good cheap airbrushes? I do not. I'm actually not even sure there are any good cheap airbrushes. From what I've seen, if you want a good airbrush, you do kind of need to go for one of the more expensive ones. What's the best online Gunpla store? I've been using HobbyWave a lot recently. They're pretty good, but they only ship to the US, so if you're outside of the US, that can be problematic. I've also been looking into USA Gundam store recently. They seem to be pretty reasonably priced. If we're talking places in Japan, I've found HOJ to be the best one as far as getting stuff directly from Japan, and that's usually the best option if you're international as well, since they do ship everywhere. Okay, Shoki's got to go eat dinner. Bye, Shoki. If you want a cheap airbrush, go for a Badger. That's the one I was remembering. I thought I remember someone mentioning a airbrush brand particularly. Yes, Badger. I've heard that one's pretty good. For $100, okay, I could see that. When 3D printing becomes more prevalent, you know people are... Yes, I know people are going to be making Gunpla custom parts with it. I think there already are actually at least a couple people on Shapeways that make, like, Gunpla parts. Excuse me, they make, like, pieces like that, kind of bullpup machine gun that like every single GM has, just like little generic weapons like that. So yeah, there's already people doing that, and I could definitely see that becoming more and more common as they get the technology down to the point where they can make finer and finer details. Resonance Gundam. I could see that being the name of a Gundam, maybe something from like the like expanded Cosmic Era universe or something. How do people customize their Gunpla-like parts, or how do they build their own? They use plot plate, which is a fancy way of saying polystyrene sheet. They basically just take sheets of polystyrene that are like maybe like 0.5 millimeter thick or 1/4 millimeter or whatever thickness they want, and they cut them up and they build them up, and they use a lot of plastic cement and a lot of time and patience and planning to build up their own parts. A lot of times they'll also build on top of existing parts, and it's something that takes a lot of skill, a lot of time, a lot of planning, and a lot of patience, but if you can pull it off rightly, it looks good. Resonance Gundam actually does sound like something you'd see in Build Fighters. Holy crap, in Germany the price for a high-grade IBO kit is 40 euros. That is... that's a lot. Hey 2S, what's up? Some minor building and a lot of questions being answered. That's what's up. In Dominican Republic, high grade's around $30. That's kind of high. That's kind of high. In Indonesia, the price for a Gundam IBO kit is around RP 15,000. That's a big number, but I'm not familiar with how that currency compares to the US dollar, so I can't really make an accurate reaction to that since I'm actually not sure how much that is. But anyways, 15 minutes after I said I'd cut him out, here's the little pilot dude. So that guy's going to be going inside his GM soon, but he'll need a seat to sit in, so I got to cut that out, and that is on the E runner, E1 specifically. I'm going to have a hell of a time editing, or I'm going to have to do some editing to it, maybe, to at least remove a little bit of the dead air and stuff from the feed I got going on the other camera, because I'm going to try to archive that so we have like a higher quality version of this whole adventure for later use. But yeah, I don't even know what I'm going to do with that footage. It's going to be a challenge to make something out of that. But I consider myself to be a pretty good editor, so I'm sure I'll be able to work something out. And you know what? I'm just going to do this back here because it is really awkward to do this wrapped around the tablet, and I don't want to slice my finger open, so. How did I get into Gundam Gunpla? Actually through the Transformers community, because when I was like 12 or 13, I was on a Transformers collectors forum called TFW 2005, and they had a lot of collectors there that just generally collected like mecha stuff, and I saw some Gundams in some people's collections, and I thought, hey, those are pretty cool. You know, those look pretty neat. What are those? And they're like, oh, these are model kits. They're called Gundams, and these look neat. And I was like, wow, these are cool. I looked into them some little more, watched a little bit of Double O, and fell in love with it, basically. Crow Dash is leaving. Good day to you, gentlemen or gentle ladies. Good day to you too, Crow Dash, although you've probably left by the time I've said this. If IBO had a red comet, how would the show turn out? I mean, McGillis is already like 70% Char, but if we had somebody who like literally had a mobile suit that was like red and 3 times faster, I don't know. I think that would be kind of cool to see. I know I mentioned this somewhere before, but I've always, I think it recently. Well, I say recently. I don't remember when it was exactly, but it did occur to me at some point that the Gray's Ryusei Go Custom 2 was basically an excuse for Bandai to make a Char Pink version of the Grays. But that's the closest thing we have, especially since Ryusei Go kind of means, I think it means meteor. So yeah, we have a pink meteor instead of a red comet. So we kind of already have a red comet in IBO in the form of Shino. Looking for a fun Master Grade? Any recommendations? I'm gonna say Master Grade Build Strike again because that kit is always the answer. Do I know who Robert 184 is? Yes, I do. He was pretty darn cool, and I'm kind of sad he doesn't make videos anymore because he did some cool stuff. He was the first Gunpla reviewer I ever watched. I remember I watched all his old Master Grade reviews over and over and over back when I first got into the hobby. I thought they were so cool. And yeah, I wish he'd come back, but sadly, he is not. And I apologize for the loud rattling you're hearing. That is the buzzer or little notification vibrator on my tablet because somebody's talking to me in Hangouts right now. So, just bear with that for a moment. Am I Robert's reincarnation? I mean, he was definitely an inspiration for me. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm his reincarnation quite yet because unfortunately I cannot get kits in as soon as he was able to because I don't live in Japan. But yeah, he definitely was an inspiration for me as far as my style. What if Orca suddenly had a mobile suit? Well, there is that white Sheeden that they kind of hinted at him using earlier in the series. So, if he had a mobile suit, it would probably be that. I miss Pixel Man says I miss Robert. So do I. Anyone use Tatsu Hobby? I have not used Tatsu Hobby just because they look kind of expensive for an online store. Like, if I lived in that area, I might check them out as like a physical store. It's nice to always shop locally for stuff like that. But I've never been able to justify getting stuff from them online just because of how high the prices are. So I'm doing a small project with the Man Roadies. Is it good to recolor them using a spray can or what? Rattle cans are definitely a good way to go if you're on a budget. It depends on what colors you want. The problem with rattle cans is they usually just do them in fairly generic colors, like just, 3 shades. They like, if you look at like, Tamiya's spray can selection, there's like maybe 3 shades of red, green, a couple blues, like 1 shade of yellow. Like, they don't have a lot of variety to them, so if you want to do like a Landman Roadie where it's got like that orangey tan color, you might not be able to find a rattle can for that, unfortunately. Still waiting for some panel lighting pens from HOJ you ordered in January. Okay, so here's a little bit of wisdom from someone who's experienced this a few times. Don't ever use SAL shipping during the holiday season, because every time I've ordered anything using the SAL shipping method from Japan between the months of November and February, nothing's ever arrived before March. In fact, one time I even ordered 1 kit in December and 1 kit in February, and they both arrived on the same day in the middle of March. So, from what I can see, it looks like SAL pretty much comes to a slamming halt when the holiday season rolls around, probably because there's all the tourist traffic and stuff. So, all the shipments take a back seat to that stuff. So, if you want something fast, in the holiday season, you should be using EMS. In Singapore, standard grays would cost around Singapore $21 or about 14 USD. Okay, that's not bad. That's only a couple dollars more than it is in Japan. Build a petite guy, they are fun. So I've heard. I might actually pick one of them up at some point. Do I watch Jobby the Hong? Yes, I do. He is hilarious. 2S, if you made the last upgrade of the Barbatos, how would it look and what would the colors be? Honestly, I would make it a totally different Gundam, because I kind of miss the days where instead of just a modification of the previous Gundam, I miss when the mid-season upgrade was like actually a totally different Gundam. Like how in Wing, they went from the Wing Gundam to the Wing Zero, or how in X they went from the X to the Double X, or from the Shining Gundam to the God Gundam. I like it when the second Gundam, or the final Gundam, is really different looking than the previous one. I think that adds a bit more variety and gives it a little more of a cool factor than just, oh hey, here's the same guy with some new shoulders and weapons and stuff. Do I watch Mecha Kotsu? Yes, I do. I love his videos. He's super awesome, and he was a big, big inspiration for me to step up my editing game and make my videos better. Jobby goes a little bit crazy on swivels. Yes, but I think he's aware now that he does that, so he doesn't quite go as crazy as he used to. Swivel here, swivel here, swivel here, ball joint here, swivel here. So Defiant Eagle said that Iokujin is Niels Yashima. I can actually see where you guys are seeing the resemblance. I remember when I first saw him in the intro for IBO Season 2, in that little brief flash in the intro where you see him, I actually thought the first time I watched it that he was Nazi, and I was like, yes, he's finally getting his own mobile suit. He's going to go out and fight with his women. He's going to be awesome. And then he doesn't do it at all. I mean, he still kind of fights, but not in a mobile suit. So that was a little disappointing, especially considering how Eok turns out as a character. ECWS 2.0 says he's almost done with his Helmut Ryan Car Custom. Oh, I'm sorry, Helmvigo Ryan Car Custom. I'm still not used to saying it that way. It's looking quite good. Very good. I saw that on Twitter. It looked like it was coming along pretty well. Making the roadies into landmans, both military color, kind of dark gray or light black. Oh, well, if you're going military colors, actually, yeah, you can definitely use rattle cans, because they make quite a few different shades of green and gray for doing military stuff, so you could definitely go the rattle can route. A lot of people here are fans of Jobby the Hong. Yes, they are. Which do I prefer, Zeta or Double Zeta? I love the Zeta Gundam because I can't even explain. I just really like that Gundam. It's probably one of my top 6 or 7 Gundams. The East is burning red. Yes, I get that. I do get that. Have I watched Gal Gaigar? No, I have not, although it does look pretty cool. Will I do a collab video with other YouTubers like Mecha Gaikotsu or Jobby the Hong? I mean, probably not, just because I don't know either of them, but maybe someday. I don't know. Or Zaku maybe. I really don't know what we'd collab on, but possibly. Okay. Time to build. I gotta do this. I gotta get this done. And I gotta get this done on camera, because every single time I put something together, I hold it here, which is the center of the tablet. But this is the center of the camera. Does this actually plug in on its own, or does it need something else to hold it in? Okay. You know what? I'm going to do some impromptu readjustments here, so brace yourselves. We're going into unknown territory, and I'm moving the camera slightly to the right, so I have room to work here. And I also need to move the other camera, since that one's now in the way. Okay, so, here we go. This is still awkward, unless I move my chair. Okay, this is exciting. We got some live camera adjustments going on here. Truly, this is the top tier quality that you came to this channel for. I'm going to stick that guy back in his seat, which he sits in quite comfortably. Will I ever build a perfect grade? There are quite a few perfect grades I'd like to build. I do really want to build a Banshee Norn, but the fact that the LED set for it is like $120, and I would really want the LED set if I built it, means that I haven't put it off for a long time, since that's like $350 for a single kit. I also like the Strike Rouge, actually. I think that's a pretty cool one, and also the Astray, although the Astray seems to be sold out a lot since it's a pretty popular kit. Do I watch Type V3? Yes, I do. And actually, if you watch some of my videos from, I guess maybe mid-2015, I think, you can tell by watching them that I had a very heavy influence from him at the time in my general editing style and the way I used to kind of overdub the audio. Two years later, the GF stuff. No, 2 years later, I'll have this done. Oh my god, it's like an hour and 15 minutes into this stream. A Stray Red Frame Kai is your favorite Gundam? Yeah, it's pretty cool. What is my opinion on the Age 1 Normal? I think it's a little generic looking. I'm not really a fan of the Gundams that kind of just look like a remix of the RX-78. But I do like the full glance upgrade a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I think it's okay, and it at least makes it kind of look like its own thing. I should build an Evangelion model next. I don't know. I'm not really a huge fan of the mecha from Evangelion. I've always thought they looked a little too organic looking, but I might at some point maybe build one of the high grades from that. And we have some people in the chat that just now realized that Prime 92 is a she. It's funny, because I always kind of guess that as soon as I watch the videos. They're like, oh, okay, she's the girl, whatever. But, like, it's funny. It's kind of funny to me now that there's still people that are actually surprised by that. But I guess there's always, you know, new people coming into the hobby, so that shouldn't be too surprising. So, finally, cutting out new pieces, making progress. Hooray! Dead silence as I concentrate on cutting pieces from the runner. My eyes narrow as I focus on the plastic in front of me, making every cut with absolute precision, and that's as far as I can take that monologue. I got nothing. How is my other... Okay, I am checking up on my second camera from time to time because I've never done a really, really long recording with it, so I actually don't know if it has like a cutoff point. Like I know some cameras only record for like 30 minutes. But this one, it's been running for an hour and 15 minutes and it still says recording, so I'm assuming that it either split up the file and then automatically started recording again, or it's just recording it all the way through, which is great. Because that means I'll have a nice big 15 gigabyte file to pour through and deal with. So that'll be fun. And I need a piece from the A runner. Finally, some more color in here. Some blue or possibly orange. I don't know what this could be. Ooh, what is this? I think it's going to be the orange. It's going to be one of the orange pieces. I think it is. Yes, it is. Piece number 6. Finally getting some orange on this torso. It's an interesting orange, too. It's like a... I've seen something that's this color before, and I don't remember what it's called, or what it is. It's like a... It's like maybe like a hot sauce color or something. I don't know, but I get memories of things when I see this color. It gives me memories. So, how the heck are we going to orient this? So it's this way. And, oh, okay, he just... Is that right? I guess that's right. Looks right. And then slip this little door hatch. Gotta get rid of those little bits of dust and debris. Is this right? This doesn't look right. No, it is right. Okay. So, is there a piece? Oh, there's another piece that goes in here. So I need an F24. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do. There I go, humming the Transformers theme again, except that time I wasn't even humming it. It's just my go-to song when I need to fill space. And I hear small animals in my wall. That's comforting. How's it supposed to... Oh. Well, that's a nice cockpit hatch. You can literally only see his feet. Like, the hinge is right in front of his torso. How does he even get out of there? He'd have to, like, lie completely flat and, like, just kind of scooch himself out from underneath there. That's kind of silly. Time to catch up on the chat. No, I'm not getting the Providence. My first kit was the high-grade 00 riser condenser type. And Crow is back. Hello, Crow. You came back just in time for 30 seconds of total silence as I put together those parts. Yes, okay, hot sauce was just the first thing that came to mind. I don't even know how to describe this color, because it's bugging me so much because it reminds me of something. Do I watch Jeff Dunham? No, I do not. Will I get the Ball Twin set? Probably not. Wow, my throat is getting kind of scratchy from all this talking. I'm not used to talking this much. But we got some more color to put on these parts. This will be fun. An interesting adventure indeed. A7 is this piece right here. I'm going to cut it off quickly but firmly, securely placing it on the table and replacing the runner in the pile. I shall now proceed to forget which piece comes next. Oh yes, it was from the B runner, so I need the B runner right now. Here it is. It's this piece right here. Here we go. That makes it easier. Perfect grades here in my country cost around $150. That's actually pretty much normal. It's like a brick red. Yes, it is. That's probably what I was thinking of. Also, Xeno Gaming says, thanks for convincing me to get the GM ground type. It's quite... it's a kit I've been planning to get for quite a while, and I got it for $16 even. For that kit, for that price, that is a pretty awesome deal, because that is a fantastic kit. Have you seen the Alien movies? I have seen the first one, and I actually really liked the... I love, like, really well done practical effects, so I was actually quite happy with that movie. I thought it was pretty awesome. I have not seen any of the sequels, though. Anyone think the HG is not worth it because they're small but expensive? I don't think they're really that expensive for their size. I used to think the master grades were kind of expensive for what they were, since they were like, you know, twice as much as a high grade, but only like this tall. But I eventually got over that and built a couple and realized, wow, these actually have a lot of detail in them. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Pixelman says, I'm hyped for the new Alien Covenant movie. I saw the trailer for that. It looked kind of interesting. It looked kind of neat. I might go see that, actually. So here's our completed cockpit, and it looks like the opening system, while it is kind of silly that it covers them up. And, oh no, did I just get... No, it's not stuck, thank God. It looks like a very simple mechanism, and I appreciate that, because nothing annoys me more than overcomplicated cockpits. Like, I hate the cockpit on the Strike, how there's, like, that stupid little thing you, like, pull out, and you flip up. Like, I don't like that, because you can't get to the cockpit very easily, and it just looks kind of silly. So how are we supposed to do this? We push this up, and then these... Okay, how's this showing up? Oh, you can't see it at all on the other camera. Hang on. You push these together, like this, and you push this down, and... That's actually a pretty cool way to put together the torso, I have to say. Good for you, Bondi. You did something pretty cool and clever. And now I'm going to take a, what is it, C10? I think they said C10. Wow, I'm not sure I'll be able to get anything worthwhile out of that second camera, but hopefully I'll be able to get something. So this is going on here, just like this. And we finally have some light blue on the torso, okay. Trying to do an order from USA Gundam Store. Anything you would recommend for me to even out the price? I don't know. I mean, they got some. They do have a few third-party like add-on sets and stuff that are kind of cool. They also got some. I was actually just looking around on there earlier, and I actually can't think of anything off the top of my head. Sorry about that. Will I be getting any more IBO kits than just the Helmut Rheincar? I have 2 more in my backlog right now, and I have a 3rd one on the way. I'm sorry, I didn't catch what you said about my project. I don't actually remember. Oh wait, you were building the Landman Roadie, weren't you? Okay, so I said if you're doing it in dark military colors, which I believe is what you mentioned, um, that should work. You should be able to use rattle cans for that since they do make them in like a lot of different military greens and grays. And as far as painting advice, make sure you prime first. Paint outside. Don't breathe the fumes. Thin coats. Make sure you take your time. And that's the all the advice I can give because I've actually not done much of any spray painting, and by haven't done much of any, I mean I've done basically none. Where's the chat? Here's the chat. Have I seen Logan? No, I have not. I did see the trailer for it, though. It looked okay. Yes, the Gundam X kits are very tiny. They're like little... They're at least... All of them are pretty much at least a good head or so shorter than like your average kit. I've heard the Atlas Gundam is no polycaps. That is correct, and that has me worried because there's a lot of weight on that kit, and Bandai uses polycaps for a reason. I know I've seen sometimes Master Grade builders who are like, oh wow, you know, Master Grades are so much better because they don't use polycaps. Well, there's a reason we use them on high grades. Because if you don't have that soft plastic around the joints to help hold everything together securely, you're going to have a rough time. And well, with the bigger master grades, you can use like ABS or sometimes really thick or softer polystyrene parts to hold everything. On a high grade, I would not trust a polycapless build to be all that secure. So, especially with those huge backpack things the Atlas Gundam has, I am not too confident in that kit's ability to stay together, although I will be picking up one just because I do like the design. Okay, I'm going to scoot over here and read the chat. RG and Wing EW and the Wing Zero is about 3.5 inches tall without the backpack. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's a pretty small kit. The Atlas is in fact polycap free. Yep, just talked about that. Roe? The Roe is actually... the Roe is the kit that I said I had coming in the mail. That was an IBO kit, so I will be building that eventually. Are Gundam X kits about the same size as Gundam Wing kits? Yeah, pretty much. They're both around 15, 16 meters. Well, okay, let me clarify. The kits aren't 15, 16 meters. They're 15 to 16 meter mobile suits that are generally around the same height as high grade. So actually, I'm going to go grab my high grade Wing Gundam and proceed to knock the Wing Zero Honey off the shelf as I do so. But here's the Wing Gundam next to the Astray. As you can see, Wing Gundam is a bit shorter, but the Gundam X kits are also going to be about that same size, so a little bit shorter than a standard 18 meter. Full Armor Unicorn Vercod didn't have polycaps? Yes, but that was a master grade. From what I've seen, the Atlas is pretty sturdy. Okay, I mean, and there goes the build burning Gundam. Stuff's just falling over everywhere. This is why live streams are fun, because stuff happens and you don't expect it, and next thing you know, you got pieces of gunpla here, there, and everywhere. You know what? Since the build burning Gundam wants to be off that shelf so bad, I am gonna put him over here with his friends. You know what? He wants to be in the stream. He could be in the stream. There you go, buddy. You're in the stream, and I put you behind the Astray just to spite you. Right now, I'm just wondering, where the heck? I'm still here, guys, just rearranging stuff quick. No, seriously, where the heck do you... Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. And we're back. Am I a fan of build fighters? Yes, I am. Bandai should make a Revive Exia? I guess that would be pretty cool. I think the real grade's pretty awesome, and I don't know if they can necessarily top that. So, yeah. Why not tri-burning? Because the tri-burning did not exist when I bought the build burning. And yes, I will buy a tri-burning eventually because I love that mold. Do I have a waifu? No, I am so forever alone that I don't even have a waifu. That's how sad and pathetic and alone I am. Am I going to build the high-grade full mechanics Gundam Bale? I don't have plans to build either of those just because I'm not super big on the design. I mean, I might get a full mechanics sometime and paint it like kind of a light blue, because I do actually really like how it looked in that one scene where he was like in the water inside that like underground building, and like the light was like reflecting off the water onto the Gundam, so it had kind of a bluish tint to it. That looked super cool and a lot better than it looked when it was just all flat white. Can I review the Master Grade Stray Red frame? I reviewed that a very, very long time ago. Go check out the Gundam Reviews playlist on my channel. Scroll down to probably the very bottom. It's going to be one of the first few videos. Will I build Gundam the L? Will I build Gundam the End? No, because that kit is sticker hell. Comic-y burning? I've never been able to get into the design of the comic-y burning. It just doesn't really grab me like the build burning does. Could I build the Atlas Gundam next? No, because I can't get an Atlas Gundam right now because it's only come out in Japan so far. So when Bluefin releases it over here, I'm going to grab one, and it'll probably be one of the first kits on my review queue out of the March kits. But the second season of Build Fighters turned into Dragon Ball? Yeah, it kind of did. And actually, that's my common comparison for Build Fighters, is I'll compare it to Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, where the first series was kind of more cool, sort of realistic stuff, and then they just go full anime in the second season, and it definitely becomes a different show. I think they should do a revive for the older 00 kits, like the Curious and Virtue. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Real grades would be even cooler. Okay, Resonance Gundam's leaving the stream. See ya, man. Although you've probably already left by the time... Yep, you left a minute ago. So, okay, bye. Bandai paid too much attention on Seed. I'm not bothered by the attention they give to Seed, because the Seed mobile suits, even if the show was pretty bad, at least the mobile suits were kind of cool looking, and when they tweak the designs a bit and add some detail for like the Master Grade Freedom 2.0 or the Master Grade Red Frame Kai, where they just kind of trick out the designs a bit, those are actually end up being some really fun kits. So I can't really be that mad at Bandai for making as much Seed stuff as they do. Revive G Gundam kits? Yeah, I would love to see them new kits of like the Maxter and Dragon Gundams especially. Would I build a high grade or Master Grade Master Gundam? No, just because I'm not really a big fan of that design. Comic-y Burning looks kind of like the X? Okay, I could see that. What is the best series of Gundam? I'd say my personal favorite will probably be IBO for a long time, because that... Ooh. Stiff knees, hang on. Okay, there we go. That show was really impressive, and still is, honestly. What is the worst Gundam? I've done some research. I've searched through all of Gundam, and I have actually found the worst Gundam. And this is the one Gundam that I have never been able to justify getting as a kit just because it's that ugly of a Gundam. And it is... That was my sad attempt at a drum roll. I'm going to pretend that never happened and just say the Arch Gundam from Gundam 00. I hate that design so much. Like, I love the Throne Gundams. I like the Throne Dry, I like the Throne Eins, I like the Throne Zwei. I think they would make some awesome Re-100s or even Master Grades. That is a dream of mine. But that Arch Gundam just... I hate that design. It's probably my least favorite Gundam ever. Build Amazing Strike Freedom Gundam. I will actually probably pick that up at some point just because it has grown on me lately. Worst Gundam is the Hydra... So wait, what? So who is it said that? Okay. Gundodge, or Gundoki, said, the worst Gundam is the Hydra Gundam. I think I know which one you're talking about. That's that one from G-Unit. What? G-Unit, right? I think I remember that one. I don't remember a lot about the design, though. Well, Steffi, that may or may not have been partially intentional, because it does kind of look like ass. Will you buy a master grade camphor? No, but I do have a high grade camphor in my backlog that I'll probably build sometime soon. I'm gonna build some more stuff here, hopefully. Okay, I'm gonna look ahead and see how much is done and how much more there is to do on the torso. Because we might be here all night if this is like a really complicated build. We have only like 3 more steps, 4, 5, 6, 6 more steps, but considering it's taken us an hour and a half to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps, we might be here for a little while. Unless I just go like super build mode and just burn through as much of this as I can. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to just burn through this. So, F15, that is this piece. F15 coming off the runner, just like that. F16. And F14. That took way too long to find. And I need F20. And I need C3 and C4. Oh, so this looks like it's going to be some abdomen parts here, since we got some what looks to be abdominal armor. So I'm just going to super quick. There's that. I'm going to catch up on the chat in just a minute. I just want to get this step done. It's funny because when I started this, I was like, okay, you know, maybe we could get maybe like half the GM sniper done tonight. And, well, maybe we'll have half of it done by next month. But seriously, though, this has actually been a lot of fun. I'm glad I decided to do it this way. It's great to be able to interact with you guys some more. And I'm just going to keep on building this right here. I can see there's definitely some activity in the chat right now. And I got these almost all cleaned up. And time to check the chat. Do I have a Discord channel? No, I do not. When will the stream end? I do not know. Make the Miao Sakai and throw the piece in the air and throw the piece in the air and ta-da, kit. I wish I could do that. That would make this so much better. Finally progress. Yes. Will Gunpla ever be able to move by remote control? Okay, fun fact. The Master Grade gun tank, they actually originally wanted to make that remote control, but they ended up removing the remote control system because it was too expensive. Yeah. The Master Grade gun tank, which was already a pretty awesome kit, they actually had a way that they thought would be a way to make it even cooler. Is the 00 Quantum the most powerful MS in Gundam? No, that would be the Turn A Gundam, because it literally destroys anything that's inferior to it, and since it was like the last Gundam ever made in every continuity, it's pretty much indestructible. Hey, Eric's is back. Did they ever make a Gundam series where the mobile suits are piloted like the Jaegers in Pacific Rim? Well, the nearest I can think of would be IBO, where the pilots are kind of like linked into their suits. We've never gotten a series where we have like multiple pilots linked together. G Gundam was like Pacific Rim. Yeah, I guess I could see that comparison. They did have the kind of motion tracking suits that they used. I could see that similarity. I haven't seen a lot of mobile armors piloted by 2 or 3 people. There are a few. I know there's some in 0079 that were piloted by multiple pilots. 0079 knowledge is not the most expansive, but I believe the Big Zam had like an actual crew for it. And there are some other mobile armors that have had multiple pilots in the past as well. Also, the Stargazer Gundam had 2 pilots, although they weren't really linked together in any way. So I'm going to pop these together. How are these? Oh. Is that it? That can't be it. I gotta be doing something wrong here. So it's... Oh. Oh. Okay. Nope, still don't got it. Will Bandai make the rest of the IBO Gundam frames? Maybe. I guess it depends on how popular the series is. Somebody probably already asked this, but where are you from, 2S? I am from Maine. As north and east as you can possibly get in the United States. Honestly, I hope we'll see actual Master Grade IBO kits. I hope we do too, because there's some designs that could be pretty awesome as Master Grades, especially that full city. That guy needs something better than a high grade. Have I read any of the Gundam The Origin manga? No, but I do want to pick it up at some point. It looks pretty cool. So we got this. I'm still trying to figure out these pieces. I think it's like this. Oh, yes. Here we go. Come on. So while I'm fumbling with this part, I'm going to quickly glance at the chat. So, dude, what would you say is your favorite Gundam? I answered this earlier, but it's the Gold Frame Amatsumina Custom. Hey, there we go. There's something together now. Oh, and it plugs in there. Okay. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have progress, and we also have a crap ton of side-to-side torso movement and forwards torso movement. Do we have back? We have back. Wow, that's a pretty complicated mechanism in there to just to get some torso movement out of this. And I'm sliding over here so I can show it to the other camera that I still haven't forgotten about and I will use eventually, hopefully. So finally, an hour and 46 minutes in, we're turning the page, and 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's only like 5 more pieces left to this torso, so I might as well finish it. So I'm just going to quickly cut out some of the pieces I'll need for this. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Cutting out the front of the torso, finally. It always surprises me whenever I build a master droid how much of this is just frame and how little armor there actually is that you put on it. You're going to need some A. Cutting that out. And cutting out another little vent. These are going to be those little collarbone vents near the top of the torso. And I meant to ask where. Oh, okay. My favorite antagonist mobile suit is the Sinanju, as Xenos Gaming asked probably a while ago. Let me see if I can read a little more of you guys' questions and comments. What is my favorite UCMS? Sinanju, or Ifrit. It changes a lot. I bet at the Gundam anniversary we will be getting a 1-1 Chat Zany statue. Yes, because the Chat Zany is the best mobile suit ever. And yes, I saw your corrections, but it was funnier. It would be cool if the 1-1 Unicorn Gundam transformed. Yes, it would be. And I would be legitimately amazed if they did that. I don't think they can. But I also thought they couldn't make the Gundam walk, and they seem pretty confident they can do that. So, who knows? They've got some smart people over there. What do I need? I need E1 and F. This F17. Yeah, it's F17. I'm actually starting to lose my voice a little, so I'll probably stop this once I'm done with the torso. So this won't be going on for too much longer. And the other piece I was going to use was E119 right here. So it's this little neck collar piece. Let's see if I can do something about that. If I'm being a little quiet right now, it's because I'm my throat's getting a little scratchy. But I'm just going to put this here. Hopefully my knife's not going to run away from me. Click that in here. And, whoa. Okay, good. I thought that was a really bad stress mark. It was just some white plastic stuck to the side. So this goes here. No, it goes here. Just like that. Let me catch up on the chat. My petite guy is ready. Well, you're building the petite guy a lot faster than I'm building the GM sniper. Is the Sinanju Steinberg car what it's picking up? Well, I have not built one, but from what I've seen, it is pretty darn awesome. Do I have the Gundam Virtue? No, I do not. I kind of want to get the 100 at some point, though. What master grade would you say for a first timer? For the 7th time in... I think it's just this... Once again, I'm going to answer a question about master grades with the answer Build Strike, because Build Strike is always the answer. What is my favorite custom Gunpla? That I've ever seen or that I've made? I don't have anything that I've made that I would consider a favorite, because both kits that I've tried to customize look terrible, but my favorite custom I've ever seen was that one kit that was like a Master Grade Double X, but with like the backpack from like, I think it was either a Wing Gundam Verka or a Fenice Renacida. It looked really nice, and kind of actually made me change my mind a little bit on the Double X, because I wasn't super big on that Master Grade before. So, I need some B parts. Some B ones. Just some little bitty B parts. Little bitty B parts. And we're 2 pieces away from finishing this torso. And I can hear the sounds of my family slowly finishing dinner downstairs. How long have you been in this live stream? Almost 2 hours. I started at just before 7. I believe it was 6:58. 6:59, I think. So I'm just gonna drift that off. I think that's all I'll need, because now I can take these and stick this here. And I haven't forgotten about that side camera. I'm going to need to show that something here. There we go. That there. And this just goes over here. Finally. This is it, guys. This is what we've been waiting for. The moment where everything goes together. And it's not going together. Of course. What's this snagging up on? Oh. I got it. It's got pegs all around. Okay. I think that's it. I think. Let me see. I'm going to pop the head on this. Dun da da da! 2 hours of work. And we got a torso with a opening hatch that I still love how quickly and simply that opens. We got a lot of arm movement here. That looks great. His neck pops off very easily. I don't know if I have this pushed down all the way. It looks like I do, and if I do, then why is it not? It's clicked in there. Does this bend? Oh, that bends. Okay. Okay, I was bending it at the wrong spot. Come on. Oh, you know what? I bet I don't have this piece plugged in all the way. I don't actually think I do. Let me see if I can fix that. Maybe I'll plug it into the head first. And then plug it into the torso. And there we go. Look at that. Look at how far down you can look. That is pretty cool. So, that is the torso and head of the GM Sniper 2. And it has been a long evening. Would be cool if I did a news episode live. The only problem with that is I wouldn't be able to put the pictures up on screen as I'm talking about them because I have to do that in post. But maybe after doing a news video, I could do like an extended thoughts video live. That's the only way I could really do Gunpla News live because of the amount of post editing it needs. Totally worth it. 10 out of 10 IGN. Which IBO Gundam or mobile suit is my favorite? I like the Shiden quite a lot. I think it's a really good grunt. Although the Barbatos Lupus is pretty cool as well. So, yeah. This has been the head and torso, or really just the torso, of the Master Grade Jam Sniper 2. So, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for those of you especially that have stuck through this whole 2-hour live stream. I was not expecting to stream this long, and I was not expecting to get this little done, but here we are. Head and torso. We made some progress. So, thank you again, guys, for being here for this. The archive version, this will be up shortly. There'll be 2 versions, hopefully. There'll be the version you're seeing, and there'll be a second version that's kind of a side camera shot. I'm not sure how much will be in frame on that. I'm not sure how much editing I'll have to do. I'm not sure if anything will be salvageable in it, actually. Although it is still recording remarkably enough, so maybe I'll be able to get something out of that. But basically, there'll be at least 1 version of this stream available once this is done, possibly 2. As always, I'm your host, Second Soundwave. And, yeah. Bye, guys.